So last week we talked about Wilber Dotel getting another chance in the major leagues out of the bullpen and how it didn't look like the Pirates had many cards left to play out of the pen internally to try to help that major league group. There is one pitcher who's a big wild card in all of this, who's had a rough season, but had one of his best outings on Friday. I can't help but wonder, will we see Antwone Kelly at some point in 2026? Good morning and welcome to OffBeat here on North Shore 9 presented by FanDuel. My name is Alex Stumpf and this is a daily look at your Pittsburgh Pirates, and today we're going to the minor leagues. Last year, I will start this off by saying Seth Hernandez didn't appear in a game last year. And I didn't get to see Bubba Chandler pitch live until he got to Pittsburgh. So those are the two big asterisks to what I'm about to say. But the best minor league pitcher that I saw last year in the Pirates system was Antwone Kelly. He was someone who wasn't really on my radar before last year. But in the 2024-2025 offseason, he stayed stateside for the first time in his career. He worked, he developed at American facilities instead of going back home, and he saw an improvement. The fastball velo ticked up. He had a really good year. He told a story to me about like how the first time he hit 100 miles per hour in a game, it was so cold he could see his breath. I'm like, dude, you were breathing and throwing fire. Like it was special to see him work. Someone with that high 90s fastball, a little bit on the smaller side frame-wise, but it was one of those like, yeah, I could see him as a major league starter. I could also see him really cooking out of the bullpen. And not surprisingly, the Pirates added him to the 40-man roster this winter because this is the type of player who absolutely would have been selected in the Rule 5 draft. No questions asked. Someone would have taken a flyer on this kid. So the Pirates said, nope, we're going to put him on the roster. There's still some development to be had. Going to put him in AAA Indianapolis. And this offseason, I asked around like, hey, him and Dotel, I know in a perfect world they would both be starters. Could we see them both in the bullpen? And it was kind of like if the need presented itself, sure. Well, there is a clear need. There is a clear need, and we have seen Dotel up in the major leagues right now. And it does raise the question, what about the other prospect that they added to the roster this winter? What about Kelly? Now, there's a reason why Antwone Kelly is not up in the major leagues right now. He has struggled. He has a 5.56 ERA through 43 and 2/3 innings. He's struck out 38, walked 20. Not great ratios either compared to the innings or batters faced or just period strikeouts to walks. Those aren't great ratios. I see a lot of the same stuff there, but it's not been the results that warrant a major league call-up. That was until Friday. And one start's not going to get him up in the major leagues, especially a start where he only goes 5 2/3. He still allowed 3 runs. But you know what? He struck out 9. He walked 1. He attacked the zone. He made Detroit's AAA affiliate have to beat him. And it's one of those like, okay, putting a pin in this start right here. This could be like the start of like he has figured some stuff out. And I do think through the process he has been working some stuff out. One thing that's intriguing, I've only heard this in passing. I haven't had it confirmed, but the data kind of backs it up. I think he's thrown a splitter. It's still labeled as a changeup by baseball savants, but I've heard whispers in the system like, yeah, he's been working on a splitter. I don't know how much he's been implementing, but the spin rate for that changeup has dropped like 400, 500 RPMs. Like there are a lot of signs here. The call is coming from inside the house, in my opinion. Like there's a lot here where it's like, okay, if he can pair that high 90s heat with something off speed that drops to go along with the breaking stuff, I see a path here of how this guy makes an impact. And it's too soon, I think, right now to put him in the bullpen. He did get an opener one start, pitched very well that game, but they've really tried to make him a starting pitcher. And that's fine because any pitching prospect, they are going to offer more value as a starter than as a reliever in almost every case. Like just as a pure theoretical, scenario right here. Obviously, it doesn't always work out. Just about every reliever in the major leagues is a failed starter prospect. So I get why they don't want to go down this path quite yet. We do seem to be nearing the return of Jared Jones. And whether he is deployed as a starting pitcher or out of the bullpen to start, that bolsters the starting depth. There is a clear and present need for bullpen help. Something that it can't be fixed externally, at least not to the extent that they need it to be. Maybe they can make a signing whenever all these, opt-outs are exercised and just see what happens over the next week or so. Maybe they can acquire someone through waivers or a DFA trade, or hey, if you really want to shoot for the moon, maybe they just flat out make a trade in June. But this is a bullpen that has not lived up to expectations, has hampered the team, in my opinion, needs help. And I don't see a lot of external additions coming in the near future. So you have to look internal, and I think that includes Antwone Kelly. Assuming Jared Jones is back and you have more starter depth at the major league level, I think that makes a depth prospect starter more expendable to a bullpen experiment. If they want to look long-term, sure, but you know what? He hasn't debuted in the majors, and there might be opportunity. And there is stuff here that does play out of the bullpen. If they wanted to go down this path, I think he would be a really good reliever, especially with that high 90s heat that he can just ramp up in the zone. It was the best stuff I saw from a Pirates prospect alive last year. And he's in AAA, and there is a need for help in the bullpen right now. I'm not saying they have to do it right now, but it has to be on the radar. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
I say this not to rush Antwone Kelly out of a starter job or anything, but I just kind of look at what's going on in Indianapolis and who the potential options are to help this team out. Like, we've seen Urquidy, we've seen Barco. Isaac Mattson is in Indy right now. he'll get up back to Pittsburgh at some point. He's trying to sort through some stuff. He deserves that opportunity. Outside of them, though, like I don't know who in Indy can make an impact out of the bullpen. Like Brandon Neek has done really well. You know, a lefty. Pirates took him in the minor league phase of the Rule 5 draft, which is my favorite part of any baseball season. It has like the right amount of Monty Python ridiculousness to go along with it. But he's having a low ERA, but he's also a lefty who throws low 90s, 2 fastballs, try to get some horizontal movement with the slider and sweeper. It's like, that's Evan Sisk. They have a pitcher like that. They have a pitcher who is doing pretty well at the major league level right now. I don't see the redundancy there. Carson Fulmer is a veteran, but he's not doing that well. And honestly, this is the 4th time that he has been acquired by the Pirates, and he has yet to appear in a major league game with them. I think that kind of tells a story of someone who isn't, exactly on the major league radar right now. Noah Davis is doing pretty well as a starting pitcher. I don't know how well he would play out of the bullpen. It's one of those, I'm looking at the pieces here, and Antwone Kelly has had his ups and downs this year, probably more downs than anyone would have expected, but he is the one guy that I look at and I'm like, he can make a legitimate impact. He is the guy who could be a plus reliever outside of, like Isaac Mattson, who we have seen and who's just down there to try to sort some stuff out right now. We have seen the Pirates be aggressive with some of their other prospects. Garcia and Valdez are up in the major leagues right now, in large part because Ryan O'Hearn's on the injured list and they need production out of the outfield. So they called up 2 of their best hitting prospects. Wilber Dotel was maybe rushed to the majors a little bit this year. Like whenever he got promoted, I don't know if the results in his body of work quite dictated the major league call-up. It warranted the 40-man roster spot, but it was like, I don't know here. He has held his own up in the major leagues. He has risen to the challenge. And it's been at a part where, again, this team needs stabilizing forces. I don't know if Antwone Kelly is quite there yet, that he could make an impact, but he has that potential. And I think it's something you have to seriously consider as we go through June, as we go through July, to see what he could be. Could he be someone who comes up and pitches some meaningful 6th and 7th innings? If Jared Jones does come back as a starting pitcher, I can't imagine that he is going to be going 6, 7, 8 innings in a start. So the Pirates are going to need to rely on that middle relief, which has been a real weakness for them all year. And there's not a whole lot of ways that they can go externally at the moment. They can't force 3 or 4 trades. Maybe you could argue they could force 1. They can't force 2, 3, 4, which is what this bullpen really needs. Bullpen needs help. You have a prospect who, coming into the year, they were willing to explore the bullpen with him. And if he is turning it around right now, if that start on Friday was an indicator of things to come, I think you have to look at if this is an opportunity worth pursuing in the not so distant future. Thank you so much for listening to OffBeat here on North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe wherever you find a fine podcast, or check us out on YouTube to see my smiling face. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk again tomorrow.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.
Oh,